Well, it's time to start up the siphon here. It didn't rain. My vent holes are letting all the water out of my bucket, but you know what? It is what it is. I'll dip another bucket out if I have to. So let me go ahead and take the cap off and prime this, see if I can't get it going. Well, we're missing it. Siphon is primed. The valve might have a little bit of a leak in it, so we got to be fast here before it all leaks down, while still trying to get a video for everybody. And do everything one-handed here. All right, let's go take the important end off and have some flow. Oh, we got a little leak right here. Come back, Cap. Alrighty. It's gonna work. You saw that little bit where it broke up. That was that little bit of an air pocket. So that'll sit here and drain, go down there into the old ditch, flow out. I just wanted to use one piece of pipe, so that'll work right here. I just need to pull the pond down maybe 2.5 feet to make grading the banks a little bit easier. That should drain that down, I would say, probably a day and a half, 2 days. Easiest way to do it. All right, I'm gonna let that keep draining out. And no rain today, so no burning, but probably should have some rain tomorrow. I can come back and start the burn pile. Then get the dozer over here and cut this out and start hauling some dirt over here. It's been a while since any water's flowed through that ditch right there. You can see it moving the leaves out of the way. I think he said the pond's been down for like 8 months, so it sucks to drain it down some, but I can't do the work with it all the way full as nice as I can if it's drained down. Good thing is it's winter time and it'll fill back up probably, hopefully pretty quickly. All right, that'll drain down and we'll start back work. Well, it looks just as wet over here, so I'm gonna start up the excavator. Looks like my brush kind of fell over a little bit, but I think I can go over there to the side, get some diesel fuel in there, and see if I can't get a fire started. So I got my pile going here, and now I'm just gonna grab some of this brush, put on top of it. I was able to get a pile of that pretty dry stuff going. I went and pulled off all the brush that fell over last night off the top. Luckily it kind of kept that stuff a little drier in there. Almost 2 inches of rain here, but it does look like the pond went down about 8 inches with the siphon, so that's good news. Probably let it run all day today and tonight and tomorrow, and that should pretty well get it down where it needs to be. What's that? What is that? I don't know, it's a root, but it looked like a big snake or something. It's interesting. So I got this little bit of smaller brush here. I'm going to take it, pile it up top, kind of use it to get the fire going real good, and then try not to knock the pile over like that. So I'm going to let that catch up. That's going to smoke there for a little bit. It's kind of wet. And then I'm going to grab some of this bigger stuff and start putting that in the pile once that gets nice and hot. I know it's kind of hard to see this morning. It's nasty weather, but being out here in the logging cutover and everything dead and dry, I prefer that it be pretty wet. That way there's no unplanned fires. All right, let me let this catch up, and I'll pile some more brush on there. Well, considering how wet and rainy it is right now, that the piles start up pretty good there. It's getting nice and hot in there. That good dry material in there did help. We got maybe 3 or 4 more truckloads of stuff here to pile on there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that stuff right there and put that on there, and just transfer that over there. And just kind of shake whatever little bit of dirt got in there when I was loading it out, and probably go ahead and put it on the fire. Let that burn down today and come back later on this afternoon and restack it. Let's put a little more brush on the fire here. Get it cooking nice and good. That's a hot fire there now. About another hour or so of burning, that'll be a good hot fire. So I'll just let that sit there and burn all this stuff down. And I like my piles kind of small but up high, because everything, you know, burns down. Then when you end up with a real wide pile, you know, let's face it, the fire don't spread through them when it's stuff like this. It's wet, green, and raining. So you gotta stack them up high, but also to the point where logs don't roll off the pile while you're sitting here beside them. If you get a log with a stump on the end piled up high and it decides it wants to come off, they tend to somersault. And that's when they can come in the cab with you, so you got to be careful. So make sure everything's mostly perpendicular to you, because if it falls off the pile, you want it to go that way. And the reason I'm burning now and not yesterday when I stacked the pile up is it was dusty dry yesterday, and all that right there is very dry and brown, or was, and I didn't feel like having to deal with catching that on fire. So I decided to play it safe. It would have burned a lot better yesterday, but also all that could have burnt as well, so that's why I waited till it rained, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. There's a stump right there, but this is a logging cutover, so I'm not too worried about it. There's another stump. Get these pine stumps up there on it so they can get some heat in them and start burning as well. I don't really have a great spot for those, so they're going to have to go in the side of the pile right here, and I'll just stack everything else up beside it, and hopefully the heat will kind of transfer through there and dry this stuff out, where all I have to do is come back later today and repile everything. That is the plan of attack. Bunch of briars and bushes, so that ought to spread through there hopefully. Alright, well, let me finish stacking all this up into the pile, and then I'm going to leave for a little while, go look at buying a replacement order for a new gooseneck trailer, and I'm excited about that. It'll be about 2 or 3 months before it gets here, but I need to upgrade Trusty Rusty, so I'm gonna go do that this afternoon and go look at a project with Justin, hopefully. So got a lot of stuff going on, just need the weather to get better. Well, I have to admit, I think that's going to burn down well. I'm gonna leave for a few hours, come back and clean up all the stuff around the outside edge that didn't burn and restack it. And I would say a good 50% of that should be gone when I get back. And 5 hours later, looks like a giant hole burnout. So I'm gonna go around there and grab all those loose ends, repile it, and get it back going. Let it burn tonight. Well, that stacked up really well. That should mostly burn down tonight. And like I said, I'll restack it in the morning. Tracks are nice and muddy now, but that should hopefully dry out some, get the dozer brought over here tomorrow, and whenever it's dry, start working on the pond. I think I'm just gonna grab stuff, repile it. I think it's dried out enough where it's gonna catch back up relatively easy here. Well, maybe I need to rake around just a little bit. Restack all this stuff. Come on there, log. Put that in there at the end. I need to block everything up with that big chunk of wood right off the bat. There we go. Grab some of this small stuff, get it piled up in there. Back to burning, make a little smoke. That big chunk of log right there, I'll do the same thing and put it on top when I'm done with that stump. That'll get all this stuff back burning. Loose ends cleaned up. put that in there and let it get to burning. There's still plenty of little stuff here. And the good thing is you can see it it does dry out, being obviously near the fire. So all you gotta do is just restack it up on there and let it burn. It's got a lot of rooty stuff in it. I'll probably just throw that on there around the edge at the end and let that dry out tonight. We're going to bring Donnie coming in the morning. We're going to bring the dozer over here for the pond work. Obviously it's too wet to do that now, but I'll restack it tomorrow when I come. Alright, well, let me finish kind of picking up everything, and I will let that burn down tonight. Come back tomorrow and finish this little bit up. And then whenever it's dry enough to start moving dirt for the pond dam, I will get started on that. Well, checking on the pond here, it looks like it's down about 4 or 5 inches. But we did get 2 inches of rain. It's got the woods flooded pretty good. But it's doing its thing. It'll probably go down another, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches tonight and tomorrow. Should get it down to where it needs to be. Catching up with all the flow that's coming in, so yeah, shouldn't take long for this to fill back up, but I need it down to be able to regrade all these edges. Yeah. About 2 inches of water in the bucket there. Came a good little rain. All right, well, this is gonna keep running till the pond gets down enough. So I brought the fuel trailer here this morning. It is mud season. It's just hard to get motivated to do stuff. It is just a sloppy, muddy, wet mess everywhere. But I didn't come over here yesterday, and back over here this morning I'm gonna restack the fire. We did bring the dozer yesterday. And I'm gonna go down there to the pond, see how much the pond has come down, and may get started on moving a little bit of dirt. So let's restack the fire here. I'm going to kind of pull through this pile and grab these big chunks of wood that didn't burn. They should still be nice and toasty from being in the pile of hot coals, and hopefully we'll catch back on fire. All I've got to do, man, this pretty big oak log. Didn't even hardly burn. I'm gonna put it back right there and grab all this stuff I just stacked out of it and stack it up on top. And somewhere in there something's gonna get hot and set all this back on fire. If not, I still have a little bit of diesel fuel over there, but I see flames, so I think I'm good already. Just trying to grab these little sticks and everything that were piled up on the edge. Grab this brush back here that's probably nice and dry now. Pile it up on top. I should definitely get it going. There's my big old maple stump that didn't do much, but I'll throw it over here to the side and put it on there once that gets burning really good, and whatever burns, burns, and whatever's left just get pushed out there in the cutover. yesterday to restack it, but I just didn't have time. I had to go do some other stuff, running around looking at projects, so got some fun stuff coming up. The weather just needs to get better to make it more fun. It is wet outside now. That last rain just saturated everything. Pile that up right there and put some brush on top of it and just see what burns. Alright, well, let me finish stacking all this up and we'll go down there to the pond site. Well, everything's stacked up. That should burn down pretty good, and I'll just rake the ashes out when I'm done here. So let's go down to the pond and check it out.